Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us in what is now the second biggest air tragedy in India. An Air India flight with 232 passengers and 10 crew members crashed shortly after taking off from Ahmedabad airport. Now, the plane was carrying 169 Indians, 53 British nationals, 7 Portuguese and 1 Canadian passenger and was bound for London. Already, 130 plus casualties have been confirmed. 130 plus passengers have been declared dead, even as rescue and relief operations are on. The tragedy and crash has been so severe that the worst is now feared as far as the casualties are concerned. The aircraft involved was a Boeing 787 Dreamliner 12 and is believed that the pilots lost both engines and plunged very quickly after takeoff. Before Ahmedabad, Boeing 787, known as the Dreamliner, entered service in October 2011 and had never been involved in a fatal incident. But there have been many concerns over safety and audit-related issues with Boeing, the company itself. Home Minister Amit Shah, Civil Aviation Minister K. Ram Mohan Naidu have travelled to Ahmedabad along with other ministry and DGCA officials. News also is that former Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani was on the flight travelling to London, where his family is currently, and we are awaiting confirmation on his condition. Let's take a look at exactly what happened. Air India Boeing flight AI-171 from Ahmedabad to Gatwick in London crashed immediately after takeoff from the Ahmedabad airport itself. As per ATC, the aircraft departed from Ahmedabad at 1:39 p.m. this afternoon from runway 23. So it was scheduled to leave this afternoon. It departed or took off at 1:39 p.m. There were 242 persons on board the aircraft, consisting of 2 pilots and 10 cabin crew, as I mentioned. The aircraft was under the command of Captain Sumit Sabharwal with First Officer Clive Kundar. Captain Sumit Sabharwal is a line training captain with 8,200 hours of experience. The co-pilot also had 1,100 hours of flying experience. Now, the captains, the crew gave a mayday call to the ATC shortly after its takeoff, but thereafter no response was given by the aircraft to the calls made by the ATC. Now, the flight is said to have crashed within a minute after takeoff from runway 23. It had barely achieved a height of 600 odd feet. And the worst is that it actually lost control so badly that the pilots crashed right outside the airport perimeter. The Air India flight crashed at an under construction building, but it also damaged in its path a medical college and hospital, where few students have also been injured. We're also trying to ascertain more about their condition on ground. So what exactly happened mid-air? Initial data from flight Air India 171 shows that the aircraft reached a maximum barometric altitude of 625 feet only. Now, this is not a lot. This is just about 425 feet above the altitude of the runway itself, which is at 200 feet. Minutes after making that mayday call, the Air India flight started to descend with a vertical speed of minus 475 feet per minute. So you can imagine that actually the flight went down so quickly that within a few seconds it had crashed into those buildings, possibly giving no time to the pilots and others to even try to maneuver away from what seems to be a heavily densely populated area. These are some of the videos that we have also been able to capture through various residents of that area. This is, of course, the moment the Air India Ahmedabad London flight crashed after takeoff. You can see that it immediately burst into flames, which is why we are fearing heavy casualties and possibly no survivors. Minutes after the flight crashed at this under construction building, visuals show parts of the flight up in flames. Footage also shows firefighters dousing those flames soon after the plane had crashed. And because the proximity of this crash site is so close to the city and the airport itself, the rescue and the fire services actually managed to get to the area, to the crash site fairly quickly, within minutes, is also what the police has confirmed. The visuals from the crash site show the debris of the flight AI-171 scattered across the area. This is one visual that is extremely damning as far as this crash is concerned. This is one portion of the crashed aircraft that has actually got stuck on top of the building, and other parts that have fallen on the ground, where of course there are lots of people that you can see as well. Dramatic visuals also show these parts crashing into these buildings at various areas. There is another mess hall where about 50 to 60 students that are studying, there are MBBS students that were studying in the nearby colleges, and there's a hostel where they used to live and mess hall where they were eating lunch, when actually parts of the plane crashed into the windows of that mess as well. But thankfully, there have been no casualties there, at least the mess hall is concerned.